Okay, guys, appreciate your patience. First off, obviously pleased to come out here with a win. We knew it was going to be a 60-minute game like it was last time. We knew this was an improved team who's going to play very aggressive. They did. They did not disappoint. They gave us everything. We asked our guys to finish and play 60 minutes. I think we saw that down the stretch. We were able to come away with the result we were working for this week. I'd say also, a note to, Allen's injury. Obviously, our thoughts are with him. We hope that nothing's severe. He's a good competitor. We have a lot of respect for him. We don't see anyone leave the game with anything like that. And then Alex Smith coming in the game, we have a tremendous amount of respect for him. We knew the second he came in, the game plan was going to change slightly from what Allen would have done. But obviously we knew he was a very capable player who he showed going through the stretch. And obviously did a lot of things to give them a chance to win at the end. So that being said, I'd like to open up any questions.
Otis Livingston, CBS.
Congratulations, Joe, on the victory. After so many close losses, once they cut the lead to 3, what was the vibe on the sideline that you got? Was it, oh no, here we go again, or no, not this time?
No, for us, the whole message was finish. That's the thing you could constantly hear our players saying over and over and over. We talked about that before the game, at halftime, throughout the game on the sideline. We have to finish the game. So, when we took the field, a number of times in that fourth quarter, the message was finish. That's what the players were ready for. We had to respond to whatever came our way. Washington made some plays down the stretch, but we were able to come away with some big turnovers in some key situations. And, you kind of getting players like Logan and Blake to make some plays for you down the stretch, and they came through for us.
Large Sports, New York Post.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
In a game where your team has 5 turnovers, forces 5 turnovers and doesn't do any, and the margin is only 3 points, what does that tell you about what happened in this game, and where would your team have been without those turnovers?
Well, it's a big part of the game, and obviously between penalties and turnovers and mental errors, those are things you have to eliminate to have a chance to win the game. Our team came out here prepared today. We did a good job with turnovers and ball security. We did a good job in terms of eliminating some of the penalties. There's still things we have to get off the map right there and eliminate from how we're playing. We don't want to have anything to take us back within drives. And mental errors, the guys played a pretty clean game. They were very well prepared on all 3 sides of the ball. I'm pleased with some of the things we were able to install for our guys on Saturday. The last call of the game was something Pat was able to put in a walkthrough on Saturday. That we talked Saturday morning. He thought it was something that could help. Obviously it was. Logan was a featured player on that defense, and he's able to come away with the play pretty much exactly how Pat designed it.
Zach Rosenblatt, NJ.com.
Hey, Joe, I know we obviously have asked you a lot about Daniel Jones and turning the ball over. He didn't turn it over tonight. I know he when he got sacked, he held on to the ball. There was a few occasions where he threw it away instead of trying to force it. Was it encouraging seeing him kind of not make the same mistakes that he had been a lot of this season?
I think Daniel played a really good game today. Thought he distributed the ball across the board. I saw him make a lot of really good decisions when he was in tight kind of conflict in the pocket, throwing the ball away at different times. He was able to run with some good ball security and make sure he got some tough yards for us, and he delivered a lot of good, accurate passes. So I thought Daniel really managed the game and controlled the game, was able to make some plays for us down the stretch. Very pleased with how he prepared throughout the week and the results we got from him today.
What can you say about Alfred Morris, who he came up from the practice squad, and in the last 2 weeks he's had some big runs, especially today?
Yeah, look, we count on everybody on our roster to make production for us. Everyone on our team's part of the plan every week. Alfred's a guy that came in here. It took him a few weeks of kind of getting really into football shape, getting along with our offense. He had a jump start from his time for Jason before. But look, he hasn't wasted opportunities. He's gotten in. He's made big runs for us. He's a guy that our guys respond to a lot. We knew, this was a game that he was going to come down and like he would any week. But this is a game that meant something to him right here, and he came in and really gave us some good production.
Thanks. I'm Rock Newsday.
Joe, you probably didn't get exactly what you wanted out of that last possession there, only taking 16 seconds off the clock. But the last play when Daniel gets sacked and his arm is kind of behind him with the ball in it, and he's able to hold on to it, is that the kind of play that he probably maybe doesn't make earlier in the season?
Yeah, I couldn't really answer that one right there, Tom. I'm pleased with how it worked out ball security-wise in that play. Obviously, we don't want to have a free runner make a hit on our quarterback, but the goal is to end every drive with a kick, an extra point, a field goal, or a punt. Whatever time of game that is, we were able to end it in that drive right there with a punt. We got good, from Riley came in there, gave us a little bit of field position. That defense was able to go out there and make a play.
And then can you just talk about the week that Logan had, between, obviously the thing with his wife and then sealing this win?
I think it's kind of just who Logan is. Logan's a very mentally tough football player. He's a great team leader. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't know or see that Logan really brings to a team. That's something I've seen really evolve throughout his career. First coaching him when he was a younger player, and then having to coach against him when he was on an opposing team, and he beat you, and you know that he's a key catalyst in winning those games. And now being back on a team with him, you can see, how his maturity and his age has really helped him settle in to really what his personality is. And Logan's a tremendous leader for us on and off the field, and he brings a lot of versatility on the field. But I'll say the things he went through all the time, we talk a lot to our players about overcoming adversity. This is a guy that overcame adversity on the field this week, made big plays, but really off the field is where it started. And the things that he had away from the building, he never brings it in. He comes on in, you can ask him how it is. He's always going to tell you everything's going great, even though it's not. He puts the team first when he's in the building. He's all business, and he always takes time to personally check on his teammates. I couldn't tell you how glad I am to have Logan on this team and how valuable he is to us.
Dan Duggan, The Athletic.
Joe, you really shuffled the offensive line more than you even have previously. Just what was the thought process with that? Was that all predetermined, or was that based on the game, and how did you think it played out?
No, it's like I've said, previous press conferences, Dan, I just want to play everyone at the game right there. So, tackle-wise, we're really 3 for 2 at that spot. Guard-wise, say we're really 2 for 2. Will should be back, sooner than later for us. I plan on being 3 for 2 at those positions as well inside. So we're going to try to play everyone at the game every week, make sure we stay fresh, give everybody experience, keep on improving. I think we have good players at that position. We'll give them a chance to play.
Thanks, Joe.
Mark Stapleton.
Hey, Joe, on the play that you said you guys installed on Saturday, was that similar to the play that you had the last time you played Washington when Bradbury was in the right spot on one of the crossers, or was it a completely different scheme and coverage?
It was a different coverage. It was a different coverage. Both have some kind of disguise to them, which is really kind of what Pat does a good job of, using pieces. He does a really good job of able to do things that are similar in nature and concept, and then just change up the presentation of them. So there's different ways of getting the familiar schemes for us. That's something we have to be able to do as a team to play and what our strengths are, but be able to change it up so they can't just sit back and identify everything. Alex is a very experienced player. He's seen a lot of different defenses. Last week we had Tom. Tom's seen every different defense you could imagine throwing at him. So you have to be creative in how you play what you really want to play, but really it's about how you present it to them and what they see it as. So, again, that was something Pat walked in early Saturday morning. We talked about it, briefly in terms of something he wanted to do. Look, I want to let my coaches coach. If it's sound, okay, if there's a rhyme and a reason to it, and he thinks it's a way for us to be aggressive and make a difference in the game, I'm always, go ahead, install it, let's play with it. So whether we draw it up in the dirt on the sideline, okay, or we draw it up on Saturday morning, give it to the players and give them time to really go ahead and adjust, we've got to be a smart enough team to take those last-minute adjustments and apply them into a game.
We'll take 2 more, Pat Leonard and Jordan. Pat Leonard, New York Daily News.
Hey, Joe. Couple guys wanted to ask you about Austin Mack. Lead you guys in receiving. How has he become such a significant part of your team so quickly? Just by the midpoint of his rookie year. And I know he got hurt, but Caden Smith really seemed to be a huge key to your running game today. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I definitely noticed Caden in several of those drives of him really getting up off the ground after knocking someone to the ground. He's really a good blocker for us. He's also a good receiver for us. So he's really more of a traditional tight end. I think he's really grown in that role in a positive way as a run blocker and receiver. What was the first part of that right there?
Mack.
I'd just say, look, the thing about Austin is this guy gets better every day. And he's been that way since day one. We started on the Zoom calls back in the spring. He's a guy who's one of the first ones signed in. He's there to ask questions early, clean up material. He's always looking for extra work. He's the guy who leaves the field last. He's always got a smile on his face. He takes hard coaching really well. He's a guy I've been very demanding on, challenged him a great deal. But simply put, I think he's a guy that, he hasn't wasted any opportunities. He was on a practice squad, a window opened, he came in, he's made plays. All right, ball comes his way, he's productive with it. So really that's just our kind of mode of operation. Whoever's at the game, we count on get production. Today was a good day from him right there. We count on getting more days like that in the future, but we count on getting more production from all of our players all the time.
Thanks.
Last question here, Jordan Renan, ESPN.
Joe, I know you're 2-7, but the reality is you're in the NFC East mix, and now next week is a huge game in regards to the division. What do you think of that, knowing that you're 2-7 at this point?
Yeah, throw the record away, it's irrelevant. It's going to be a big game for us no matter who we play, but especially if Philadelphia coming in, the record's completely irrelevant in this game, Jordan. And look, we're just trying to go 1-0 every week. I'm not posting in front of my team what the record is for the season. To be completely honest with you right now, that's the last thing we should care about. We have to worry about day by day and week by week making constant improvement as a team and moving in the right direction. I see that. I'm pleased with that. I love the way these guys come to work. I love the way they fight for each other on Sundays. But I don't care what the record is on any year. The fact that we're playing Philadelphia, it's a division game. It's obviously a big game for us.
I know this is a strange place to start, but you got sacked on your last snap there, and you held on to the ball, which, you know, a sack is a negative play, but it's obviously a positive play that you held on to the ball there on a blindside sack. Just talk a little bit about sensing the ball security in that spot.
Yeah, you know, I think that's been a focus of mine, and you know, obviously know the importance of, you know, holding on the ball. And you know, defense did a great job today coming up with 5 turnovers, and you know, on offense we were able to protect it today, and that was you know, a big advantage for us. So you know, those are big plays in the game, and you know, I've got to do a good job holding on the ball.
We talk a lot about when you guys play Dallas and Philly about losing streaks and trying to, like, do they have your number? The flip side of that is you're 4-0 against Washington. Is there anything to that, Daniel? You have 1 win against Tampa and then 4 against Washington. Why do you play so well and get so much confidence against them?
I don't know. You know, I don't know if it's specific to one team, or, you know, I think you know, each game is separate from the other, and you know, it's just happened that we've come ready to play against Washington these last 4 times, and you know, have been able to you know, get wins. So we'll look to build off of it, you know, next week going into Philly.
Schwartz.
Hey, Daniel, a couple of things. Can you just describe that blindside hit that you took and were able to hold on to the ball? And number 2, the offense really bogged down in the second half. You know, you guys couldn't put really many points on the board. As you're going down the stretch there and the defense is giving up some yards and some points, did it ever allow you to think, oh, no, you know, this is going to happen again to this team?
You know, I think, you know, when you're in the game, you're always you know, you're always, you know, playing to score points. You're always playing to keep the ball moving forward. And you know, we didn't execute well enough there in that second half. And you know, like you said, didn't score, you know, didn't finish drives. And you know, we'll certainly look at that. We'll watch the tape, study from it, and you know, see what we could have done better in those situations. But the defense came up big there down the stretch. We were able to, you know, get a turnover there, and you know, that was big for us. As far as that last play, yeah, just safety came off the edge and you know, hit me in the back, and you know, I think it's you know, we'll look at it and learn from it, and you know, just gotta, you know, hold on the ball, and you know, that keeps us in a position, sets our defense up with a long field, and I'll continue to focus on that.
Can you think of it in that situation when you're getting hit? I mean, you don't even see the guy that, I got to hold on to this ball. Was it instinct? You know, was it just muscle memory, or did it just not come out?
Yeah, you know, I'm always trying to hold on to the ball and do my best to secure it. So, you know, I guess right there I was able to do it.
We'll take 3 more. Patty, Tom, Otis, Patty Trainer, Giants Country.
Hey, Daniel, how you doing?
Good, Patty. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Daniel, I know you probably are going to want to look at the film, but can you just give some initial thoughts on the play of the offensive line, especially, you know, the rotation that the coach has going on, and just not just their pass protection, but also what they were able to do with the run game, considering this, I think, was the 4th week in a row that you guys ran for over 100 yards as a group?
Yeah, you know, they've done a great job. You know, they've done a great job these last few weeks, and you know, Coach Colombo has them going, and the rotation, like you mentioned, rotating those guys in and out, and keeping them fresh. I think, you know, you said it. We ran the ball effectively all day, and I think that was a big, you know, big advantage for us. Using tempo, being on the ball, and then able to, you know, keep the pressure on them and run the ball, and you know, those guys did a great job up front against a really good defensive front, and you know, a defensive front that has the ability to, you know, really impact the game and change the game, and those guys did a great job all day, you know, enforcing our will, running the ball, and then protecting the pass game too. So those guys deserve a lot of credit.
Thanks, Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm Rob.
Daniel, when did you know that Golden wasn't going to make the trip with you guys? And then, sort of following up on that, can you just talk about the connection you have with Mack?
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, we learned that this week, and you know, just prepared to play and you know, go through the plan and get ready to play.
Austin did a great job stepping up and made a lot of plays for us. He's someone who you can trust to be in the right spot, who's consistent and brings it every day at practice. And I certainly have a lot of trust in him. And like I said, he stepped up and made a lot of big plays today.
And have you ever heard back from Eli after yelling his name so often at the line of scrimmage there and during games?
No, I haven't. He hadn't said much about that yet, but maybe I'll hear from him now.
Thank you.
Last one here, Otis.
All right, congratulations on the win, Daniel. I'm sure that the offense is not happy that you weren't able to salt away the game, but it's a team game. The defense stepped up. What was the vibe on the sideline as far as the offense went, though? Is this a turning point maybe that you guys were able to get a win that you should have won coming down the stretch?
Yeah, I think there's lots of things to take from this game and build on. I think, in the second half we had some drives. We moved the ball a little bit and then kind of stalled out in a couple of situations that hurt us and prevented us from getting points. So, we'll look at that. We'll learn from it and see what we got to do in those situations better. But I think that there are things to build on from this game. I think we'll continue to improve and that's the goal every week. So. Back to work tomorrow and look to take another step this week against Philly.
Jabrill, congratulations on the victory today.
Appreciate it.
It's got to be frustrating to have so many close losses. It seems like the defense stepped up real big today. How do you guys feel about being able to solidify the win with interceptions by yourself and Logan?
It's always good when you close it out on defense. The game shouldn't have been that close to begin with. We had a lot of bonehead plays that, put us in that position. But at the end of the day, a W is a W. They all go in the same column, man. So, we're just going to keep building off this, correct the tape tomorrow, and get ready for a big showdown against Philly.
How tough is it also to be in on a play where the quarterback gets hurt as severely as it appears to be for Kyle Allen?
Oh, yeah, you never want that to happen. We all have a little pact in this league. Guys have came from circumstances. Guys have worked hard to get here, so you never want to see a guy go down like that, man. So I just prayed for him. I apologize to him. That I definitely didn't intend for that to happen. I'm just trying to play hard. Make a play for my team, and I'm still praying for him, and I'm wishing him a speedy recovery.
Chris Bisignato, Giant Insider.
Jabrill, obviously this has been a much maligned defense in the fourth quarter. So how much of a confidence boost is it for you guys to get 2 stops at the end of this game and come away with the victory?
We know we were capable of it. Like I've been saying the last couple weeks, we just have to execute. And tonight we did a good job of executing in big moments, and we closed the game out, man. That's all you can ask for.
Pat Leonard, Daily News.
Hey, Jabrill, you said that you apologized to Kyle. Were you whipping your leg around there to try and get a piece of him? I know you weren't trying to hurt the guy, but were you trying to get a piece of him?
Everything happened so fast. I tried to just bull rush the running back, but he kind of got under me a little bit, and I tried to spin out of it. It was like a weird kind of play. You know what I mean? I didn't intentionally try to leg whip him or whatever the penalty was. I was just trying to play hard, get him on the ground.
Thanks. And I wanted to ask you, too, your coach left Golden Tate off of this trip for disciplinary reasons. Wondering how, as players, you guys view a coach holding someone accountable like that.
We already addressed it. That's in-house. We all understand.
Thanks.
We'll take 2 more, Tom Rock and Paul Schwartz. Tom Rock.
JB, you've gotten to know JP, I'm sorry, Logan very well.
Yeah.
What was this week like for him, and what were the emotions when he picked up that ball and
he
the screen there?
Obviously, I'm not married, so I can't imagine what he was going through or feeling, and to be honest with you, you wouldn't even tell by the way he comes to work every day. He's a leader, he has the experience, and he's hard on us, and. I watched the interview and I didn't even know. He didn't even really talk about it with us. I watched the interview for the first time, and that's just the way he is, man. He's a pro. He's a pro's pro. We prayed for his family, and I'm just happy for him that he could come out here in the game for us after such a emotional week for him. You know, I can only imagine what he was going through.
Last question here, Paul Schwartz, New York Post.
Hey, Jabrill. We saw late in the game, when the defense was kind of, like you said, some bonehead plays or things like that, when the game was getting tight. Joe Judge was on the sideline really talking in loudly to the defense. What was that dynamic like? And, how did it was there any kind of, here we go again, this is happening again? You guys have been through that so much this year.
Nah, man, I don't know why y'all keep asking me that. That never crosses our mind. For me, I believe we're going to win every game, no matter what the score is until that final whistle blows. But basically he just challenged us, We know what he expects from us, and we know the standard. And, he challenged us, and we stepped up to the challenge and closed out the game for him. So, that's the type of coach Joe is, man. He's going to get the best out of you one way or another.
What does he challenge just mean? What does that mean?
To close out the game. Stop the bleeding. That's not how we play. And we have to stop going up big and then letting teams back in the game and then fighting our way to close the game out again when we could just steady kill, even kill all the way through, play fundamentally sound, be great tacklers, and execute. So, he just challenged us to get back to playing Giants defense, and, I think we did a good job answering the bell.
Hey, Logan, we got to see the end of that play on the TV cameras watching the game at home. I'm just curious if you could describe the emotions of the play, of how everything were breaking down, and then what was running through your mind as you guys were running to the cameras to kind of celebrate a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a story behind everything. You guys know I try to storytell up here. It was an extremely emotional week, as you guys know, from my last time I talked to y'all with my wife, and extremely grateful to the organization and to my wife. She's a fighter. For her not to lose her there in that situation, very fortunate. At the same time, my wife and I mourn in silence of our lost child during that process too. So we had a loss as well, and although it's a great story, it was an emotional week for me and her. And that game was definitely for my wife. It was definitely for my family. I had her name written on my cleats, and just extremely grateful and that I have a great wife, and that ball's for her. She told me to bring one home for her, so I was able to do that. That play is the play that we ran is something that I talked about Pat Graham about doing and putting me in that position to make that play. And in 2 minutes, we've been struggling all year, and it was just a play that we put in, I think, Saturday night, like hours before the game. Last night, we said we're going to try something new and try that. In the first half, I messed up. I wasn't there. They ran a 32-yard in cut in that 2 minutes, and that was my fault. That was my job there. And I told Pat, I said, hey, that's on me. Call it again, and I'll be there. I'll make it right. And at least he thinks it's going to be there. So he called it again, and the next time we ran, it was at the end of the game. I was able to make the play. So that's just the story behind the game, and I'm very fortunate that Pat trusts me enough to run my play and to call my play and call my number, and that's what I believe I'm here to do. And that's what I believed I was here to do today for the team.
Thanks, Logan.
Otis Livingston.
Congratulations on the win, Logan. How good does it feel for the defense to be able to put the final nail, to actually win that game? Because I know your coach challenged you guys to finish, and you guys were able to go out there and do that.
It feels great for the team. I mean, it honestly does. I mean, you guys know we got a hard-working coach. We got a hard-working team. We got a lot of talent. Some people say it's young. I just think we're a talented team if you look at the positions. I think defensively we're extremely talented. And we're just tired of we're done. We're done coming up short. We had 8 games of learn how to win. We had 8 games to get to know each other. We had 8 games with a first-time head coach and all that stuff. That's all great, but it's just time. These last end of the season, we're playing extremely hard to win every game, and it was just time. I said that winning is a mentality, and it starts in your mind, and I felt like, we played like winners there, and it wasn't perfect, but well done is better than, perfectly tried. So we got it done.
Seemed like a couple of Jersey guys were celebrating as well. You and Jabrill making key plays down the stretch.
Yeah, Jabrill's obviously extremely versatile, extremely great football player, but he loves football. He loves ball. His passion is high for ball. Everyone that knows Jabrill sees his energy popping off him and the emotion he plays. And I'm the same way. I love ball, and we like our safety tandem there
we like how we feed off each other, and I think that's just the start of what this defense can be if, Jabrill and I playing off each other and making those plays in crucial moments. And he just kept saying that's why they brought you here. That's why they brought you here to make those plays.
Steve Politti, NJ.com.
Logan, were you able to talk to your wife after the game? And how hard is it to compartmentalize what's going on in your life while trying to focus on football?
I think it's easier said than done. There was no doubt in my mind if my wife was in stable condition that I was going to play this game because I play for my family, and me playing ball brings me a lot of joy and it brings my family a lot of joy. And I talked to her before the game. She just got back to New Jersey. She was resting and she was watching the game, and she just knows me, and she just says, bring a ball home for me and the kids. And I was able to do that, and I visualized it all week. No one really knows, what I went through all week emotionally, but the team supported me great. And I definitely wanted to do something for my wife and kids on this situation. And I can't say, to break it all up, and it is the right thing to do. I tried my best. I don't think I was perfect, but I tried my best to try to separate it and make my family proud.
We'll take one more. Jordan, Renan.
Hey, Logan. I'm curious, how common is it for you guys to sit there and draw up plays that you're going to use in a game on the Saturday before the game? I think it's the second time this season I heard of you guys doing it already.
It's not too common in NFL, but Pat Graham, like I told you, I think he's a great defensive coordinator. I think he's a great coach. I think Joe trusts him to make changes that late in the week. It's a play we didn't practice once all week, but we drew it up and we executed it when it mattered. And that's what you got to have. You want to play for a coordinator who wants to put you in a position to make the plays. And that's what Pat believes in me to do, is put me in a position to close the game out. And I feel comfortable being that player. I feel comfortable being in that moment. And that's just earning the respect of my teammates and earning the respect of my hard work. So I don't know it's common for everybody, but it's common for us. So we're coming with all wrinkles every game. And you just got to have the players able to pull it off. And I think we're starting to pull it off better and better every week.
Talk both about that touchdown catch, obviously spectacular fingertip catch, and then do you feel like you personally left a little out there? Because I think, there was one that slipped through your hands and one that almost was an interception. So just kind of talk about your day, the good and the bad here.
Yeah, obviously the touchdown was just trying to make a play for the team and for Daniel. We got the look we wanted on that type of play, and I just had to execute and finish the play. DJ threw a great ball. I just had to finish it, and the drops. You don't want those, but just got to keep pushing through. And luckily, we were able to overcome the adversity today and finish with the win.
This seems like something we ask you every year at this time of year, but there's reports the Giants got trade offers for Evan Engram again. Like, it seems like they happen every year. Were you in the loop on any of those, and are you glad that you're still here now that the trade deadline has passed? Well, what was your reaction to being in trade talks again?
Obviously I'm glad and blessed to be here. To be a New York Giant. But all that stuff is really out of my control. Don't really pay that much attention to it. Just kind of controlling what's on my plate and what's in front of me, and whatever happens is whatever happens. So, like I said, I'm blessed to be here as a Giant. And it was a hell of a game that we played today, and just glad we got the win.
Otis Livingston.
Evan, congratulations on the win today. Also on the plays that you were able to make, but going back to the drop, the key one, what happened on that play? How do you assess that? And talk a little bit about the work that you have put in or need to put in as far as making those plays.
Yeah, just really was a routine play. Probably got a little bit too excited, and just ball went through my hands. So just got to keep working, stay at it all week, kind of just catching balls, working on technique, eyes to the ball, eyes all the way to the tuck. So just a play. Definitely wish I can go back and grab it and make a play, but those things happen. Just got to overcome them.
But also congratulations on the plays that you did make.
Appreciate it.
We'll take two more, Ryan and Tom Rock. Dunleavy.
Evan, you guys are 4-0 the last 2 years against Washington, and we spend so much time talking about you've lost 7 to Philly, you're 8 to Dallas. Is there something do you guys get more confidence against Washington because you've had success in the past, so that just builds upon each other? 4 of 5 Daniel's 5 wins are against Washington.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we don't really look in the past and live off of the past, but any division opponent in any division game, we really get up for and know the importance of, especially this year with our division. So we were just hungry to go out there and finish the game and get a win. And no matter who we were playing today, we were going to try our best to bring home a win. So obviously, it's good to beat this team and to beat division opponents. But like I said, we're really just focused on the now and in the game that we had today.
Last question here, Tom Rock.
Evan, how did the offense function without Golden making the trip?
I mean, we answered the bell today. Obviously, Golden's a great talent. He's made plays over and over again all year. And it was unfortunate to have him today. But Austin Mack and a lot of other guys stepped up today, and we just had to answer the adversity of not having one of our playmakers and try to go out there and compete and win the game. And
then I don't know what your vantage point was on the last meaningful offensive snap there where Daniel got sacked, but it's kind of it sounds silly, but it's a big play that he was able to hold on to that ball. Did you guys see it that way? That you were able to punt it away and not have to deal with a turnover in that spot?
Yeah, I mean, turnovers hurt. So be able to flip the field and make their offense drive down the field, and for DJ to hold onto the ball, that was an important moment of the game.
Hey Leonard, that sack you got, I think you were being double teamed and choked, and you still get to the quarterback there. I mean, is finishing plays now, I think you have a team high 5 sacks. Is finishing like you are this year refreshing and rewarding with, what your goals were coming into the season?
I mean, definitely it's it's not about money for me. It's not about anything like that. I think about this game and my love for the game. It's more about respect and, just proving what I am and gaining respect from my peers. I think it's just coming together. At the same time, it's just like I have a lot of guys on the defense to thank for it. Like our secondary plays lights out. It helps me, get to the quarterback sometimes when they make them hold the ball. And, just overall our defense is playing pretty well, and it helps me flourish.
You think your game's not respected enough?
I wouldn't say that. I just, there's obviously been a lot of stuff out there in the media in a negative outlook. And, from my perspective, I feel like I've always known what I am. I feel like I've proven that I can get to the quarterback. And I think now it's just, being able to take them down when I get there. And, it's important.
And last thing for me, is it very real to you and to the guys in the room that even though you're only 2-7, that you're 1 win away from walking into your bye as a real contender to win this division?
I mean, realistically, we're a few points away from having a winning record. I mean, like you said, I think our record doesn't show the type of talent and team that we actually do have. I think Coach Judge turned this place around and is doing a great job. And I've also been on teams where we've had a 1-win, record by now, and you could feel the energy of the team start to drop. Guys are not locked in as much and stuff like that, and I feel like that hasn't happened once here, and I think it's because we're in these tight games. We're in these really tight games with playoff teams, you know what I mean? The Steelers are undefeated, like the Buccaneers, like a bunch of teams where we've been in tight games, and I think that's the reason why no one's hanging their head down and giving up, because we're right there, and I think that if we just keep working hard, I feel like we're going to get over the hump.
Thanks, Bert.
R. Stapleton.
Hey, Leo. Jabrill said, and we actually saw it on TV a little bit, that at one point in the fourth quarter, when you guys were on the sideline, Joe Judge kind of came over, had you guys huddled up a little bit, and challenged you to close this game out. As a defense, not just do it once with Jabrill's interception, but then with Logan's interception, how big of a change was it for this unit that obviously has been on the other end of this several times this year?
I mean, I think those guys came up big time. We keep getting in these close games. Hopefully one day we're not taking it to the last 2 minutes of the game one day and we're just able to close it out before we get to that point. But, this defense is pretty good, and I think everyone believes in each other. So I think when we were challenged by Coach Judge, we took it in a positive way. We were like, okay, let's do it. Let's put the team on our back. Let's go out there for another drive and do it again, And I think the guys answered to the challenge, and we got the win.
Thanks.
Last question here, Ralph Acciano, SNY.
Leonard, given what you just said about how the team is, the attitude's still good, no one's hanging their head, you're right there, how seriously are you taking the NFC East race? Despite the record, you are right there. Mm-hmm. Are you looking at the standings? Do you look at this Eagles game as a pretty big game in the division?
I mean, I think, like I said, the fact that we're getting close in some of these games with top teams in the league right now is one of the reasons why we're not hanging our head. And then also the fact that our division is so open and, everything's right there in front of us still. I think, guys are just not hanging their head down. We still have a lot to fight for. And you could really feel the energy. Like, I'm not just saying it, like, just to make it a good answer. It's like you could feel guys, like, working hard every single day. Like, guys are coming up to each other, like, having their own, like, individual meetings with each other when coaches are not around. And that's why I like to see people work.